yourself comfortable. Take a seat by the fire. Maybe pour yourself a brandy. Maybe light a cigar. Because I'm about to tell you the greatest soccer story ever told. Not quite yet. That sounded pretty good. Story time here on the Soccer OG. I'm going to tell you maybe the greatest soccer story ever told. I know there are many of them. It's unfolding before our eyes in this incredible year of 2020. Unbelievable. Interrupted. Call it what you will. I think we have to look closely at the historical significance that the sport will cause here. And there's a story that picked up all the way back to, let's say, the beginning of 2018. And it is unfurling before our eyes. And how it's happening is the stunning part. It is the story of Atalanta, the club of Bergamo, which to me is the best team in northern Italy. Not in Milan, not in Turin. It is in Bergamo, which I spent a little time there. I had a modeling job in Bergamo. And long story, I got paid in a pizza box. I had some Italian lira and they gave it to me in a pizza box. It was very cool. All on the up and up. Atalanta, coached by Gianpiero Gasperini, who we've talked about on this program. And if they ever made a movie about Gianpiero Gasperini, there's no doubt that Sam Elliott would portray him. How about some of that sarsaparilla? Mustache rides. So Atalanta had been on a surge. They had won, 11 straight games? 11 straight games. They had gone to they've already qualified for the quarterfinals of the Champions League. The Champions League. They learned their draw as well this week. I'll talk a little bit about that. We'll talk more about the Champions League, which I think is going to be unbelievable. It's going to be a lot of stuff packed into a few weeks. A lot of action with the best players, best clubs in the world. So they're doing this incredible thing, but you wonder, the story of all time maybe is Leicester City winning the Premier League out of nothing. But Leicester City did it. The league was down that year. They did it with hard work and tenacity and never quit. They had a great striker in Jamie Vardy who would score. They had good talent, obviously. Riyad Mahrez, Nkate. But when you watched them, they didn't really blow you away. The results did, but the style was good. But with Atalanta, you're watching something I've never seen. Dominating attacking football. They are the top scoring team in all of Europe. They have 87 goals in 32 league games. 87. They own possession. Shots on goal. So they played Juventus this weekend. It ended up 2-2. Both Juventus goals were the penalties coming off dubious handballs, questionable handballs. I guess if you're a stickler, you can call it. I didn't really think to get both of them. Hard work for Atalanta. They ran all over Juventus. There is a video. You can check it out on, I reposted it. Gab Marcotti posted it. I reposted on Max Bredoff Sports on Twitter. And it is a sped up sequence of the game with Juventus. 8 minutes and 11 seconds where the entire play was in the Juventus defensive half. Mighty Juventus could not get out of their own half for 8 minutes and 11 seconds, while Atalanta dictated terms. Took the lead, lost the lead. Took the lead back, handball. By the way, the video that I posted is to the William Tell Overture, so it's very good. It's very dramatic. Atalanta could be the greatest story. If they won this game with Juventus, I'm not saying they would have won Serie A, but just like this, they'd be 6 points back. And Juventus would be shaking in their boots. It's not. But they could win this Champions League. They're in the quarterfinals. They drew PSG, who haven't played a competitive game since February. PSG this weekend did play a friendly against Le Havre, and it made a lot of news because there was fans in the stands. Le Havre is a second division team. PSG won 9-0. They looked awesome. Atalanta is much better than Le Havre, but I tend to think Atalanta has a chance. If they get past PSG, they will play either Atletico Madrid or Leipzig. This is no accident. This team qualified for the Champions League for the first time last season in their history. And instead of taking that dip, which people say, don't qualify for the Champions League because you're going to ruin your club. Ipswich Town, I think, in England, remember they qualified for the Champions League and then we've never heard of them again. You don't want to. Leeds United, but not Atalanta. They kept their players. They brought them all back. And now they could finish second and they're going to qualify for the Champions League again. And they might win it this year. I can't believe I'm saying that. Atalanta. It really is remarkable. Want another incredible stat about Atalanta? I've been going deep digs. You want another stat that will blow your mind? Because I don't know how this is possible. In the game with Juventus, 16 players took the field. Only 2 were Italian. 11 different countries represented. Colombia, Ukraine, France, Holland, Slovenia, Argentina, Belgium, Switzerland, Brazil, Albania, Croatia. How does this guy find these guys and puts them to this? This is such an important story right now. He is changing the game. This club is changing the game. Of the starting 11, 1 Italian, the goalkeeper. That is Pierluigi Golini. Everyone else, not Italian. Get on board now. It is fascinating. And it's not just historically significant. When you watch Atalanta play, they are entertaining. It's beautiful. They are a beautiful team. Kind of like we saw with Liverpool. Well-oiled, moving around. So I compared to them Leicester. Speaking of Leicester City, an embarrassing display. They lost to Bournemouth. Bournemouth hadn't won a game in I don't know how long. They were awful. They were, DOA in the relegation fight. They were losing this game 1-0, and then all heck breaks loose. They tie it. They get another one. This crazy red card by Kaglar Sanyuncu, the Turkish Leicester City defender, and he took a swipe at one of the Bournemouth players, and I think he should be suspended for the rest of the season. If you saw it, it's gnarly. Then they scored again. Leicester mistake. Leicester mistake, another goal. Leicester mistake is right now a Champions League team in England. They were making plays that your 12-year-old team wouldn't make. Just passes that you wouldn't dream of making, and they did it 3 times. So congratulations to Bournemouth. I'm a little worried because as a West Ham fan, we're not safe now because I have to worry about Bournemouth for another week. Thanks a lot, Leicester. Thanks a lot, Jamie Vardy. Unbelievable game. I've never seen it. And now Bournemouth has some life. The Champions League, we talked about it a little bit. We'll get into it more. I think we have some time. I did see an article by Graham Ruthven about Barcelona. Is this the time for Lionel Messi to leave? And I've been sharing that with you for the better part of 2 years. I've saw the writing on the wall. I don't want to say toot, but I'm right on these things. You know why? Because I watch so much. I watch. And I can read it. I've been doing this a long time. Trust me. This is what's going to happen with Lionel Messi. He's never going to win a Champions League. He might win a Spanish title at Barcelona. I think it's going to get further away. There is so much dysfunction in that club. And he's getting older and he needs help. And he doesn't have the help he has. Back in the day, you could rely on him and he'd get you out of a tight bind. But that ship has sailed. If he wants to win, this is the time to make a move to Premier League, somewhere where you have that support if he wants it. I'm not convinced he does. He could stay at Barcelona, sell a lot of shirts, make a lot of highlight reels. Everyone will go, he's the greatest. But look, if you want to be the greatest player, you've got to take those risks to make sure you put more, maybe he doesn't want to put more into the resume so people say, look at what he's done. That's what Cristiano Ronaldo does. He keeps testing himself. And there's not a shot at Messi. Messi's been comfortable and Barcelona's been great. But Ronaldo has seen that. He says, all right, I did my time here. Let's try this. It'd be great if he ended a Barcelona career. What a great story. I know there's talks about him going to Newell's and playing there. That's like a one-year deal, I think, at the end of the career, right? You don't go to the Argentine league, no. And it wouldn't be safe for Messi to be there, quite frankly. But this is the time for him to do it. I don't know. Real quickly, MLS is back. It's going on. It's like the Energizer Bunny. It takes a licking and it keeps on ticking. Yeah, the Dallas Tests, they were knocked out of the company. They had to withdraw. Then Nashville had to withdraw. Then there was a game between Toronto FC and DC United. And I spoke to Bradley Wright Phillips, who plays for LAFC, and he says, I was getting ready to watch that game, and I found out it was canceled as it was on air. When I was saying DC United were getting ready to play. Toronto FC were being tested. One player tested positive, and again, they came back negative. But these are the things that they have to deal with inside that bubble in Orlando. Now the game is going to be rescheduled. But you hold your breath through MLSisBack. You hope you can get a good run here where nothing happens, and hopefully that goes all the way. But it's a long tournament. But you hold your breath. And this was the latest episode. But I think there's some issues with the communication. When you hear about a team practicing, that has to be resolved. I don't know how well, from what I've heard, and I've actually been talking to a lot of folks that are working there or going there about how the communication flows around from clubs to players. That's a little bit worrisome, but they're gonna muscle through here, and I think they should. It hasn't been great. It's early, but it's important now that we're here, that everyone's on board, and I remind players about that too. Should be good. And we will continue to paddle through. Watch Atalanta. Watch every game of theirs from now on and tell me I'm crazy. And subscribe to the Soccer OG. Great week last week. Thank you for all who tuned in. Let's do it again.